How's it going, everybody? Vince Carrot here with this week's edition of How I Make My Jerky. First of all, we shot a buck and we got it all ground up. I like to do my whole deer into jerky, and I do 6-pound bags. So this is just one of the 6-pound bags that I have marinated in whatever spice you want to marinate it in. Yeah, so 6-pound bag has been marinated for a couple days. It's ready to go. You need to make sure you have your gloves, a can of Pepsi, keep you hydrated. I got some parchment paper, good knife, nice size knife, nice and sharp, and I have a cutting board, and I'm just going to measure it. See the cutting board? It's just a bamboo cutting board, but it's like 10 inches by 15 inches. And the reason why I'm measuring that is because I have these things called magic mats that I put all the jerky on. And if you see, it comes and it fits pretty much the right size to this cutting board. But what I've done is I've actually marked my cutting board to give me a good idea of how wide it needs to be. So, anyways, those are all the things you need. Put your gloves on. These are just disposable gloves. You want to make sure that you keep your food clean, free from bacteria, all that good stuff. So what I do, first thing to do, take your board, get it wet. Get some water in there. Take your parchment paper. And what the water does is it just holds the parchment paper down onto the cutting board. And then what I like to do, open up the bag, meat. And what you're going to do is we're going to do 4 of these. So what I like to do is I like to take the meat and cut it evenly into 4 sections. As best as you can. It's not a big deal if it's not perfect. So there's 2 there, 1 more there, 1 there, and then this is the one we're going to work on. That's one of the quarters, see? So what I do is I push it down like this, and I take a little bit of water, make sure it's cold water, and I put it on here. And I just find putting a little bit of water on here helps it hold together, because it's been in the fridge and it's kind of dried out. So just mix that water in just a little bit. And then I just kind of flatten it out with my hands. Wash your hands quick. And I take my knife and I start working my little batch. You can use a roller to do this, but I just find the knife's easier. It doesn't get all stuck on the roller. I could square it off like this, square it off like this. And you're just trying to get a nice, even, square piece. Like I said, I have this mark down here so I know how far on the cutting board I can go.
basically just like that. Once you get it nice and consistent with your knife, there. So I got it all pretty much consistent. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and cut my little strips. Doesn't matter the thickness, you can do whatever thickness you want. Just make sure you score it all the way through. There, you got it all cut. Now you're going to take your mat. See, look, it's perfectly over there, and all you do is flip it over like that. Take your cutting board off. Take this off. Throw this out. And what I like to do, because it's already been cut through, is I like to do 3. Just kind of go through, separate them a bit. That's why it's important. See, if I didn't cut through some of these, so always make sure your knife is nice and sharp. And the reason why I'm doing this is just to get a little more airflow in the middle. And you'll find that when the jerky is done, because you've cut all the way through, basically just break them apart, and we'll do another video just to show you what it looks like. But basically that's it. Now you have that, you have that on your mat. Now you can either put this in your dehydrator, put it in your oven. I've done both. My wife doesn't like me when I use an oven, so I bought a dehydrator. But anyways, if you're going to use your oven, what you're going to want to do is around 200 degrees. Put it on your racks, 200 degrees. And what you want to do is grab yourself a wood spoon, put it in there like that, so the airflow comes, and it's just drying out the meat. It's not cooking the meat, but this is the best one. They're like 6 hours, is probably 5-6 hours, depending on how you like your jerky, whether you want it drier or less dry. Totally up to you. But that's how we do it. Tune in next week for another video.